Full World Finals lineup revealed, Loghan Ashline set to debut. All of this and more is coming up on this week's edition of Monster Truck News. Starting off with the results from Monster Jam before getting into the independent results, last weekend saw the return of Monster Jam, this time at Cleveland, Ohio, at the Cleveland Browns Stadium. Racing would be won by Jamie Garner, with skills being won by Adam Anderson, and Nick Pagliarulo won freestyle. Notable to point out that both the Pagliarulos secured a top 2 finish in Cleveland for freestyle, with Mike Pagliarulo finishing second and completing his very first backflip. Adam Anderson takes home the overall event championship from Cleveland, as the next event for Monster Jam will be in Salinas, California next weekend on June 18th. On to the independent results for the All-Star Monster Truck Tour in Antigonish, Nova Scotia. Show 1 saw Hooked with Chad Tingler win Best Trick, Freestyle, and the overall, with Stone Crusher taking Racing and the Donut wins. For Show 2, Racing was won by Stone Crusher once again, and Hooked would win the rest of the competitions. And for Monster Truck Throwdown in Wilmot, Wisconsin, Jurassic Attack would take the Best Trick and Racing win, while Axe would take the Donut and Freestyle win. For Show 2, Jurassic Attack would win Best Trick, Avenger with Chris Kohler would win Racing, and Axe would win Freestyle. It is currently not known who won Donuts. A while ago, we mentioned Monster Jam's newest driver, Loghan Ashline, and how she is yet to be competing as of this time. Well, recently she has been announced to be making her debut driving Scooby-Doo for Bakersfield and Fresno this July. This will mark her first appearance behind the wheel, as so far she has only appeared at trade shows and sometimes behind the scenes at Monster Jam events earlier in the year. It is unknown if she will be driving for more events past Bakersfield and Fresno. Nonetheless, I am super excited to see the debut of Loghan Ashline very soon. MAP Motorsports returned last weekend to Springfield, Missouri, and the shows were incredibly exciting for many reasons. Mark McDonald would end up replacing Zimmer Sr. in Wildside, and Joe Urey made his debut for Team Throttle Monster driving Rockwell Red. Show 1 would see David Olfer, Velociraptor, win 2-wheel skills and freestyle, and Mark McDonald in Wildside won racing. This would make Olfer the points leader heading into the second event the next day, with a 4-point lead over Tim Jones and a 5-point lead over Mark McDonald. It would be the same results for night 2, except Tim Jones won freestyle. It seems that this is what Tim Jones needed to do, as he won the points championship and was crowned the King of Springfield. MAP Motorsports always puts on a great show at Springfield and great shows in general, and Tim Jones always runs hard, with the tour heading to Miami, Oklahoma this weekend, with more on that later. Once again, Monster Jam has added 2 new countries to the ever-expanding list of potential new international stops down the road. Those 2 are Uruguay and Paraguay. Both of these are located in South America, and neither of these 2 locations ever have hosted a Monster Jam event. Again, no events in this region have, as of the recording of this video, been announced or even confirmed to be happening. In saying that, however, with the recent additions of Chile, Costa Rica, Colombia, Argentina, and now Uruguay and Paraguay, it may be entirely likely that we at some point may get a South American tour, considering how some of these cities are relatively close to each other. With the days counting down to the World Finals, maybe we may finally get more international events announced in these new countries. And speaking of the World Finals, the entire main field for World Finals 22 was revealed yesterday, and boy oh boy was I not prepared for this. The following are the last 12 drivers to be competing for the Racing and Freestyle World Championships in Nashville, Tennessee this July. Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, Tom Manson Max D, Camden Murphy in the Bakugan Dragonoid, Todd the Duke and Megalodon, Corey Rummel in Megalodon, Bryce Kenny in the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior, Kayla Blood in Soldier Fortune, Jim Kohler in Avenger, Cole Vernard in Black Pearl, Ryan Disharoon in Shaker, John Gordon in Bad Company, and Chris Kohler in Monster Mike. Most of these were expected anyway, however the biggest surprises are Ryan Disharoon and Chris Kohler. Ryan Disharoon and Chris Kohler especially have been tearing it up all season long, and now they get to make their first appearance at the World Finals main field, which is incredibly exciting. Of course, the real only downside to this lineup that I know everyone is probably going to mention in the comments, or has done so already, is John Zimmer Jr. not being present. And honestly guys, I don't blame you, I couldn't agree more. It is extremely and really unfortunate that someone who has been so dominant and so exciting behind the wheel this year has been left out of the World Finals main field and potentially World Finals in general for this year. Now, in saying that, there is always the chance of him being in the Two Wheel Skills Championship, but even then, he 100% deserved a main field spot. Regardless, besides Zimmer Jr. not making it into the main field this year, it's honestly one of the best lineups that we've ever had. It's got a great mix of talented drivers, defending champions, new championship contenders, and potential new champions. The Skills and High Jump World Championship lineups are still yet to be revealed, however, will be very soon. It's once again time for the Monster Truck 5 of the Week, where we get to showcase a multitude of shows and tours that are touring the globe. Monster Jam does not have a show this weekend, and as previously mentioned, will return next weekend to Salinas, California. MAP Motorsports, as previously mentioned, will be in Miami, Oklahoma, and will feature an impressive and stacked lineup, including Bad Decision with Alec White, Barbarian with Devin Jones, the debut, hopefully, of Big Kahuna with Shane England, Blockhead with Darren Basil, Dirt Crew with John Zimmer Jr., Dozer with Jack Brown, Rockwell Red with Joe Uri, Miss Overboard with Deidre Ballard, Rat Attack with Jacob Ladwig, Tailgater with Tim Jones, Velociraptor with David Olfert, War Wizard with RJ Turner, and Wildside with Mark McDonald. The Cali Monster Truck Tour heads to Los Bantos, California, and will feature Cali Kid with MJ Solorio, Hillbilly with Tim Manchester, Identity Theft with Miles Parker, Rockstar with Bill Payne, Spitfire with Travis Ibarra, Titan with Donald Epidendio, and Weekend Warrior with Carson Williams. The All-Star Monster Truck Tour heads to Bangor, Maine, and will feature Backdraft with Paul Broad, to be announced drivers in both Jurassic Attack and Kamikaze, Crazy Train with Triton Robbins, Muddy Girl with Ann Broad, and Plain Crazy with Montana Robbins. Versus Monster Trucks heads to Saratoga, New York, and will feature Bad News Travels Fast with Brandon Dero, Crustacean with Greg Winchenbach, Lumberjack with Zach Winchenbach, Virginia Giant with Cliff Val, and a to-be-announced truck and driver. And finally, Full Throttle Monster Trucks heads to Walton, Kentucky, and will feature Bigfoot with Roger Gorgia, Cattywampus with Chris Keys, Who's Your Daddy with Chris Rogers, Predator with Alan Pizzo, and Relentless with Brian Rogers. And well, that is all we have for today's edition of Monster Truck News. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon with some more Monster Truck content.